Under pressure, backs against the wall, everyone calling for the captain's head, chopping and changing, bringing back a batsman who top scores. It is peak Pakistan in the World Cup against South Africa. They've done the first bit dead right. They won the toss. They decided to have a bat first, and they've managed to put well in excess of 300 on the board. Sohail, what a comeback for him. 89, where's this man been? How on earth can you leave him out? Babar Azam with a very good looking 69, and Fakhar Zaman and Misbah-ul-Haq giving them the sort of start that they would have wanted. Partnership of 81 between the two openers on what was yet another long day for South Africa's bowlers in the field. It's our mid-innings show on ESPNcricinfo Matchday UK 2019. If you're a Pakistan fan, there's plenty to cheer about. If you're a South African fan, would you still take that? Given 300 plus scores have been chased, Pakistan have gone for a few. We'll find out in just a bit from Albie Morkel and Misbah-ul-Haq. Before that, Murali Kartik and Michael Hussey. You take that if you were Pakistan, Murali Kartik?
I'll definitely take that.
Yeah.
I'll definitely take that, and you would want that this rejig bowling attack will come and do the job. There is definitely something for the bowlers. I for one thought that the South African bowlers whom we have spoken about, and we talk of Kagiso Rabada or Ngidi in glowing terms, I thought that they were not up to scratch. In between, it was brilliant from Imran Tahir, who literally pegged back things, the way he bowled to the openers, getting Fakhar Zaman and Misbah-ul-Haq.
Yes.
I don't know why do I say Babar Azam. Yeah. Babar Azam was much later. Misbah-ul-Haq in quick succession, I thought that he did a great job, but the seamers around him, I thought you expected a better job from them. But I definitely feel that there is something still in it on this Lord's pitch for the seamers, still overcast.
Okay. Yep. How about that from Sohail?
Yeah, well, what an innings. How has he not been playing? You know, that is seriously sending a message to the captain, the coach, the selectors to say, you know, I need to be picked for every game. That was a phenomenal innings. To me, I feel as though this is a good pitch. I thought the Pakistan openers played brilliantly, but they were able to hit the ball on the up and play beautiful shots through the field, and so that tells me this is a good pitch. I still think runs on the board are like gold to have, but I think South Africa will be thinking, okay, yep, we're probably just a little bit off with the ball in the field, but this is gettable. Yeah. If we bat well, it's a good pitch. I thought, as Kartik said, Imran Tahir really got them back into the match. You know, he was in everything there for a while with, you know, catches being referred and that beautiful one-hander that he took. It was a highly entertaining 50 overs.
It was. It's a bit like yesterday's mid-innings show for the West Indies-New Zealand game, where we're thinking which captain would be happier. And you think, no, we'd be happy, but maybe not as well. I'm not quite sure. And we maybe find out in, say, 20 overs after the second innings if this is that good. Is that sort of feeling again that both captains would say, all right, you know what, that was okay?
That's how I feel. Yeah. I feel as though South Africa will be just a little bit disappointed. However, I think they'll be thinking, this is a good pitch. If we bat well, we can chase this down. Pakistan, in most of their other games, have gone for over 300 runs. So, you know, there's some light at the end of the tunnel there for South Africa. Yeah,
and this is a bowling attack that has been under pressure as well for Pakistan. Therefore, the changes, and not the changes that Misbah-ul-Haq wanted, but at least Shaheen Afridi, Wahab Riaz, Amir and the spinners have at least over 300 to defend. Let me go to Misbah now. You said you needed that bare minimum 300 Misbah-ul-Haq. It came. You had a good partnership from the openers, and you had that fine innings from Sohail. Just tell me your thoughts on that first innings.
Yeah, I think very well played, especially after the games we had. I mean, poor batting performance by Pakistan, and that's been the case with Pakistan. How can you miss Sohail? That was the biggest disappointment for me, that once you just start once you just start making your decisions, and you just not looking for a logical decision, and you are just preferring just the perception and emotions over logic, then these sort of decisions you just made for the team. And I think Sohail in the last couple of series was a standout batsman for Pakistan, not only scoring consistently, but obviously his strike rate was up, and he is the perfect number 4 for Pakistan. But Pakistan just went for the senior guys, and I think they'll be obviously now thinking that what we did with our top 4 in the previous games, that's going to hurt them. As has said, that it is a good total, but obviously the pitch looks good, and South Africa would be thinking that if they bat well against this Pakistan side, most teams got more than 300 runs against Pakistan recently, so they had a chance. But at the same time, I think Pakistan, if they bowl disciplined lines and lengths, and especially the kind of slowness we've seen in the pitch, even Markram was just creating a little bit of difficulty for the batsman to just milk him around. So Pakistan having 2 spinners, and then Hafiz is there, Haris can bowl. It's very important that how we bowl in the middle overs, and especially with the new ball, Shaheen, I think he needs to improve, and we need Ahmed to continue that sort of bowling which he's been doing in this World Cup. So obviously a good start. Babar hasn't played his part, and then Haris Sohail, the way he batted, I think Pakistan got the runs. Maybe they would have been happy that with 15-20 more runs, but still I think that's the score we can defend if we go there and bowl disciplined lines.
Yeah, we'll come to Pakistan's bowling in just a bit, but we have to go back to that Haris Sohail innings, and Misbah rightly points it out that it was a call that's being proven to be dead wrong now. The fact that this man was left out after 1 innings against the West Indies when the entire batting failed as a unit, and that's the one thing we've been talking about for a lot of other teams, Mike Hussey, the importance of being able to understand the middle order, number 5, number 6 sort of role, coming into the 30th over, not the hardest of balls, and still going immediately. 54 runs and boundaries for Haris Sohail. Just took the tempo to a different game. It was almost the perfect sort of innings. You'd be proud of that innings. That's a better innings than I could play, I can promise you that. Well,
what really stood out to me about that innings was how well he started. You saw the strike rate in his first 20 balls was well over 100 runs. So that was a brilliant start. Came in, put the pressure back onto the South African bowlers right from the word go. Also, what that does, it takes the pressure off the batsman at the other end as well. He can just go about his work and just play his natural game. So it was a phenomenal innings in the context of the whole game, and he just kept going on with it. Backed himself. You know, the consistency of the ball striking as well, and the placement of some of those shots was just a top class. It was a masterclass of how to bat in the middle order, I think.
And it's while other teams have tried to play their best batsmen out of position, including Australia because of injury or India because of injury, here you had a guy who seems to fit the ODI role perfectly, and yet someone like Shoaib Malik out of form is being preferred over him. That's I think now a decision that's been.
Yeah, it was bizarre, and that's been there for a long time. In fact, I didn't understand. Possibly Misbah. I did speak to Misbah when we were there in Manchester about the Shoaib Malik thing. And today I read this brilliant piece by Osman Samiuddin on Cricinfo. What a piece he has written on the numbers of Shoaib Malik, and I'm surprised that nobody has seen. He's been a very good player. Don't get me wrong, but to have continued so long with that kind of performance for the last, 3-4 years, and it was just unbelievable. It was something which had to be done.
Yeah.
You felt sad for Haris Sohail, as you said, Ronak, after the first game against West Indies, just to be dropped, just to be sidelined. You're right, just the perfect match at that spot, and Huss again pointed out to the way he didn't put a foot wrong, just the consistency of the hitting, and just to know, sometimes there are those innings where the batsman seems to know where the bowler is going to bowl, and you are prepared and you play that kind of a shot, and that's exactly what he did. He didn't put a foot wrong.
Right.
Every shot was better than the other, and they needed that kind of an innings from somebody so that people are happy. And they have something to bowl with.
Well, he deserved 100, did Haris Sohail. It's only a shame that he couldn't get there, but that's a very valuable 89 runs that he's put. It's a collective batting performance that's fired for Pakistan. But on the other hand, there's a South African bowling attack that continues to be plagued by issues with the ball when it comes to the new ball in particular. We're looking at the worst bowling averages, and South Africa right up there only after Afghanistan and Bangladesh, who do have issues with the new ball as well. And they sit at number 3 with an average of 60. So again, no wickets in the first 15 as it turned out today too. Let's go to Albie Morkel now. That's again, it's the same story in spite of different games, opposition, Albie, that South Africa don't seem to be able to strike with the new ball. It's another day when Rabada has gone wicketless.
Yeah, it's certainly not the best day for them in the field. Like you said, it's almost a deja vu performance, and they're very similar to that first 2 games where they fielded first. It looked like there was no energy, a little bit flat, and the bowlers certainly let themselves down in terms of the lines and lengths they hit. Especially the lines, I thought they, bowled either to wide or to straight, and the Pakistani batsmen had many loose deliveries to get boundaries away. In saying that, the wicket looks very good. Just the way the openers batted, they were hitting the ball through the covers on the up, which shows to me that, which tells me that there's some pace in the wicket and it's good for batting. But all in all, a very disappointing fielding display. I think, South Africa can be very happy that Imran Tahir on their side today. He certainly, did a great job taking those 2 wickets, and, he was asking questions most of the time. I just hope that sort of display and that energy in the field doesn't boil over into their, or filter through into their batting now, because I do believe that that target is gettable. Yes, Pakistan has got a bowling attack that could potentially put them under pressure, but they've also haven't bowled too well in this tournament. So I'm looking forward to the second half, and like I said, South African batsmen needs to, they need to step up to the plate today.
There are 2 points I want to pick up from what you've said, Albie, and I'll come back to you for the first thing that you said. You don't want the energy to translate into the batting as well, and that's exactly what I was going to come to, just the lack of energy. It looks like all the energy of South Africa is in Imran Tahir and nobody else. He's equivalent. I mean, you could be on caffeine pills and still not match up to Imran Tahir's level of energy. But are you a bit annoyed or disappointed that isn't rubbing off on the rest of South Africa that seem pretty flat, pretty sloppy for a large part of of their time in the outfield?
Yeah, very disappointed. I think after the performance against New Zealand the other day, yes, we lost that game, and that probably took a lot of energy out of the whole squad as a whole. But today it's a new day. There's lots to play for. Like I said earlier, maybe a few places within the setup. So to come out with a performance like that is pretty disappointing to see. Getting back to the points you mentioned about wickets in the first 10 overs, I'd like to see a pitch map of Rabada over the entire World Cup and compare that to bowlers who's been a little bit more successful. I just got a feeling today and in other games that his general length is maybe a little bit too short. I'm not talking about the bounces he's bowling, I'm talking about his general length. And with the way the wickets is played, it's been pretty good for batting, and I just feel that maybe that length is easier to hit. Maybe As can jump in on that, but I just think his general length he's been a little bit too short, and that's why he's not getting wickets with a new ball.
Could that be one thing? What ails Kagiso Rabada this World Cup?
It's not a bad point that Albie makes there, I think, and it would be very interesting to do some analysis on that, just to see what his consistent lengths are compared to maybe the likes of a Maman Amir, who definitely does pitch the ball up and look for more movement with the new ball. I think of Stark as well, generally gets a lot of wickets with fuller delivery. So, yeah, we'd have to sort of back it up with some numbers behind it and some analysis.
Cottrell, we can remember, has just bowled it up. Lots of wickets full and swinging for him.
I think it was the way that the Pakistan openers started. They were so positive, played some beautiful shots, aggressive. I feel as though it just put the South African attack on the back foot a little bit. Because they were scoring so freely and just hitting some good length balls, they were just smashing them over square leg. And I think it just knocked the wind out of the sails of the South Africans a little bit.
Yeah, again, it was one South Africa and 10 of those players, and another one in Imran Tahir, who seemed he could do no wrong. And again, Imran Tahir, you have to give full credit to his enthusiasm, and it translates into results too in terms of what he manages on field. And he loves ICC events. It's going to be his last few games for South Africa. He's announced his retirement at the end of this Cricket World Cup, but he's now with 39 wickets, the most prolific wicket taker for South Africa in World Cup history, goes just past Alan Donald, which is an extraordinary achievement for Imran Tahir. And there wouldn't be any surprise that he's the only spinner on that list of great South African fast bowlers otherwise. And we're looking at the most wickets for spinners in World Cup history, and he's second only to Muttiah Muralidharan. He's pipped Dan Vittori in this tournament. That's something, Murali Kartik.
Oh, brilliant. Look at the way he's played. That's what a couple of days ago we were talking about it. At 40-41, if that kind of infectious energy you can possess and that zeal to play cricket and to bowl and to enjoy those wickets. Look, there's the school of thought which always says, why are you surprised that you took a wicket, so you're so... why are you going mad after taking a wicket? But the second school of thought is you're actually enjoying what you're doing, and that's exactly where he comes from. And to be the lone spinner in that great list of South African fast bowlers.
Yes.
And forget that. If you talk about spinners, Imran Tahir's name is not going to come in the company of the Daniel Vettoris, the Muttiah Muralitharans, the Shane Warnes of the world, but to be there in just 20 games, to be the second on that list.
He's quietly.
Quietly, and I think speaks volumes of what he has done. Sometimes it's like a callus. Is he considered the greatest all-rounder, whereas his numbers prove that. Amla might be the fastest 2,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, but they're never spoken about. There are certain kinds of players who are never spoken about in world cricket.
Sure.
I think he's one of them who's gone about doing his business, enjoying the way he bowls. And the biggest thing for me is in a country which has always been laden with fast bowlers, to be a spinner and to be a match-winning spinner, a wicket-taking spinner in the middle overs, I think that itself is a big feather in his cap for that man who has seen lots in his life. He has gone from Pakistan into an adopted country and to become the lead bowler and to be the much wanted bowler across counties. I think he's done enough for himself.
He's not done, Imran Tahir, will tell you that. He's certainly
I think
not
he's going
done.
back to Surrey after this, if I'm not mistaken.
We'll have a lot more from Imran Tahir. He's done his job with the ball. We'll talk about South Africa's challenge with bat on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Earphones. Cricket's first brush with earphones didn't come with T20 and innovative broadcasting. In a 1999 World Cup game against India, South African captain Hussey and fast bowler Alan Donald took the field wearing earphones so coach Bob Woolmer could communicate with them. While it wasn't against any rule, the match referee asked them to discard them after discussions with the ICC.
Welcome back to ESPNcricinfo Matchday UK 2019. Our attention is on the South African chase after Pakistan have put up the runs in the first half of this game. And it takes us to our Hotstar top comment of this match. Viewers in India have been putting their Hotstar top comments and Hotstar Watch and Play. And this is from Abhishek in Mumbai. Will be difficult for South Africa to chase any target above 300 given how their batting has performed so far, which is a fair observation, and we'll dig out the numbers for you too in terms of the most successful run chases for South Africa in World Cup history, the highest successful run chases, and that will dig up that 300 plus isn't chased as often by this team. They did manage to chase 297 in a game that Tendulkar got 100 in Nagpur in 2011, but that's as much as they've gone. India seemed to feature a few times, so to Pakistan, but so they like playing against India and Pakistan. But 300 plus to a batting unit that is short on confidence is going to be a challenge, Mike Hussey.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, of course. However, you know, I don't like to look at those numbers too much. The field restrictions have changed a bit over the years, so that's in their favour. And the difference in this World Cup is that this looks a good pitch. I think back to the game against New Zealand at Birmingham, that was a tough pitch to bat on. It was certainly seaming around a little bit, not easy to come out and play your strokes. This pitch seems a bit better. So I think there are more of a chance in this game than they perhaps have been in other matches so far in this World Cup.
Yeah, Misbah, final word from you. What sort of areas are you expecting Pakistan's bowlers to bowl? Do you expect Shaheen Afridi to take the new ball now that he's been put into this team?
I think Amir and Shaheen Afridi, that's the chance, and especially what we have seen, Amla and Quinton de Kock. If you bowl wicket to them, bit fuller chance to get them bowled leg before early on, and I think that's the way to go. And then we might change quickly. If it's not working, go to Imad, and he can just create that pressure.
All right, we would be expecting the energy from Pakistan now that they have the runs. Albie Morkel, are you backing South Africa to chase this, or is this beyond them now?
Look, if you go on their past performance in the World Cup, you would say probably not. But this wicket is fantastic today. What more do you want as a batsman? You know, full house at Lords. There's going to be a lot of noise. So, you know, I think they can get it. This wicket will suit guys like Quinton and Markram. The ball's getting on. So, you know, if they can have a good start in that first 10, I definitely think they can get that score.
All right, they need the start that Pakistan had. Many thanks to Albie Morkel and to Misbah-ul-Haq. Gentlemen, anyone making predictions now or still staying away? Murali Kartik, Pakistan or South Africa?
I backed South Africa to win, so I'm sticking with it.
That'll be a record-breaking chase.
We keep saying it all the time. Oh, the start's so important. That first 10 overs is so important.
But there's a reason.
Let's say it again.
Yeah. Very well. We'll pick it up and see if Mike Hussey, Murali Kartik have got their predictions right and chat with Misbah and Albie at the end of this game. South Africa, can they get 300 plus? We'll find out. See you on ESPNcricinfo Match Day after.